Morning, everyone. My name is Michael Mondi, as you've heard. Well, I don't like microphones, I don't know why, but it's fine. I'm here to do a short presentation, nothing very technical. So if you're just here to have a nice time, get to interact with everyone, relax. Other presenters that are coming after me are configuration-centric, they are more technical. For me, I just want to point out a few issues that is facing, or the challenges that operators in the continent are facing. So that's why the name case study. It's not a typical university-style case studies where we go deep into problem analysis. I just want to point out just a few here, like an overview. So that's the topic of my presentation. It's a case study on deployment of RouterOS products in Africa. Obviously, my name is Michael Mondi, as I've said. I prefer the name Mike. I have a little over 10 years in the IT industry. I was introduced to MikroTik back in 2014, back in the company that I used to work for. I'm from a heavy, well, Cisco background. We are not supposed to say that word here. But so I kept wondering, what is this thing called micro? I kept arguing with my boss back then, what is this? Until I attended the class and I thought, wow, this is a very cool product. So my areas of interest are ISP solutions, wireless services, network security. I have a few certifications here and there. With MikroTik, I'm a certified MikroTik trainer, and my certifications are listed down here. Other vendors, I'm a Cisco certified, VMware, CompTIA, SolarWinds, Ubiquiti, Cyberom, Cambium, all that. So I work for a company called McCharles Consulting. We are mainly a consulting company that offers training, consultancy services, network design, deployment and management. We do server deployment, cloud services, and all that. So if you want to know much more about this, we can have a chat after this. What is the goal of my presentation? I would like to provide an insight into the challenges that network operators in the continent are facing, and how MikroTik is coming in as a solution to these challenges. So, network operators, this is ISPs, WISPs, large corporate SMEs, and even individuals in their quest to build robust networks that are scalable are really running into a lot of challenges in the continent. So let's look at them. I've traveled to a few countries, about 13 of them to be specific. Why 13? These are English-speaking African countries that have offered my services, both as a trainer and as a consultant. And I've dealt with operators and engineers at all levels. I've dealt with people in large corporates and even small-time guys who are just trying out. And what stands out is that we face almost similar problems. What are they exactly? Our challenge number one is the total cost of ownership of network equipment. This is a huge problem. So from whatever angle, because if we are trying to build very robust networks that are reliable, that are dependable in terms of we can use it to deliver very quality services, which face the same challenge. So what we have is in form of acquisition, the initial purchase of equipment is very expensive, and if you've been in the industry, you know what other vendors have. And those coming from the corporate side, service providers, just know the story. For example, just buying one unit could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. And not everybody has that capability to buy that. Also, if you come to the operational expenses, things like power consumption, recently in this country we've had very ridiculous, a power distribution company that decided to just inflate bills. Well, if you come from that company, don't stone me, but that is the truth. It was in the media. It's not something I just came up with the other day. So you find that if the power costs are high, it becomes unbearable, because we're in this in some one way or another to make money. So if the power consumption goes way too high, it it becomes an hindrance. We also have things like licensing, software licenses, which are very expensive in most cases. And those who come from a background like I do, from that company we said we shouldn't mention here, you have got these perpetual licenses that keep recurring every year. And so if your license expires and you fail not to renew it, you lose very critical services and your ability to run a good network. So how does MikroTik fit into all this? How is it a solution? So MikroTik, Routerboard, and RouterOS are the most graciously priced enterprise-grade products in the market. And I can bet, so well, there are a lot of betting and lottery companies in the country. So I'm telling you, we can bet on this, and I will win. Because if you want to get any enterprise-grade kind of equipment, trust me, the price point is almost the same for majority of the vendors. But thankfully enough, MikroTik thought that is a good thing to make it possible for any person who is interested into enterprise-grade equipment to make it affordable. So at the apex of their offering is the CSCR 1072, which is a very powerful product with 72 cores of processing, 16 GB of RAM, and man, it's just amazing. And look at the price. It's just a paltry $3,000. Those of you who have been, well, if I mention the XR category and the Nexus, they know what I'm talking about. We can't even officially get the price, the quote from the vendors, because some people will have a shock of their life. The price is way too high. So we welcome you to the world of MikroTik, because if you're thinking, can it do what the other vendors do, and even much more, I can guarantee on that, because you're looking at 8 SFP plus ports. Where do you get this with other vendors? If you do, it will be at a price that it's equivalent to maybe building a house in the country. So if you know the pricing, we will not get into the details of doing price comparisons, because that information is in a public domain. So you're free to check it out, but we welcome you to use MikroTik products. And also the licensing. Once you buy this hardware or the license, like Norman has said, there's no perpetual recurring license fee that you have to incur. Once you buy it, that's it. Have a nice time. Get on with your life and make some money if you're in the business of making money. So the highest level of their licensing obviously is the level 6. In this case, for the Routerboard category, or the P Unlimited for the CHR. These are very high controller grade kind of licenses that have no restrictions. So you're free to do whatever it is that you do. Because if you go to the other vendors, I keep talking about other vendors, because if you're here, obviously you've dealt with these other vendors, quote unquote, and you know that you could buy a license today, and in addition, they tell you, no, that license doesn't give you the option to do one or two. So you have to keep buying a license for this, license for that. But that is not the case with MikroTik. Once you buy the license and you have all the features you want on it, and have a nice life. Also, as we've said, in terms of the power efficiency, this unit, the 1072, is very power efficient, just consuming 125 watts. If you try to compare this product with its counterparts in the market, you'll realize that, wow, this is very cheap. So if you're a service provider and your major worries our power bills, oh, worry no more. We welcome you to use MikroTik products, because they're going to save your life. And well, not really life, but they're going to save you a lot of money in terms of your operational costs when it comes to power bills, licenses, and all that. So the other challenge that we have is we have a lot of network administration overhead. What do I mean by this? We are often subjected to a lot of complexities, and things are never just easy. So you're wondering, which tool is out there to help me administer my network with a lot of ease? Because when you're at work, nobody really cares about your skill. They want to see you deliver. So how much you can go into the command line and fix things is neither here nor there. How efficient, how fast can you get it done? And you find that a lot of people are either scared of the management interfaces that are provided by these vendors. So what we have as a solution to this, occasionally administrators have to use third-party tools which expose our networks and the overall infrastructure to security vulnerabilities. How do we fix this? MikroTik thought to it, man, life is already too difficult. Don't make it more difficult for us network admins. So they came up with Winbooks. So you're thinking, other vendors have similar. Well, in the industry that have been, the solutions that have been there, they're not very good. And or if they're working, they're equally complex. You have to you have to log into the product first, do some configurations to make it interoperate or interconnect with this tool. So for MikroTik, we have got Winbooks. Every single one of us here knows about Winbooks. It's a proprietary a tool, a graphical user interface tool that is developed by MikroTik for their product. So the connection to your product is encrypted. That improves your security. You have peace of mind when you're connecting. It allows connections both from layer 2, which is one of its kind. I want to challenge you to go out there and do your research. If you find any vendor that allows layer 2 connectivity for purposes of management, it will be something that you can't even afford. I know they're there, but not very common. But the mainstream vendors that are out there, majority of them allow you just a layer 3 connectivity using these tools. So that's what it is. It's once you connect, you have all the possible features that you can ever want to manipulate and make adjustments to your products. The other challenge that we have is with distribution. And this is a big deal, a really, really big deal. Because you find that most operators in the industry, if you want to acquire a new product, you have to place your orders maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in advance. You're wondering why? Why is it that these distributors just don't have stock? And the distributors are also very few. I can challenge you to just walk out, go and look for how many distributors do we have in the country that stock Juniper or Cisco or that kind of. There are not many. And the ones that are there have a lot of restrictions. You have sign up with us. They just don't allow walk-in clients. Well, let me not mention any one of the distributors. But you know the hurdles and the dramas that we have to go through just to be able to purchase a device. I'm giving you my money and you're making my life difficult. So for that reason, we have a lot of bureaucracies, and it just makes it impossible or very unpleasant. If you have rapid deployment, you have need to roll out any network on a need basis, on an ad hoc basis. You have to keep waiting. Maybe in some cases you have to buy a lot of stock and just have it in your stores, which in most cases doesn't make a lot of sense. So I would want to buy it on a need basis. If I'm not a reseller, I'm not a distributor, why do I need to have a storeroom full of equipment? That's having my money sitting there doing nothing. So how do we solve this? MikroTik has an extensive distribution network. In the continent, we currently have distributors and resellers in about 27 countries. This is still not good enough for a continent. We are not even covering, this is just half of the continent. What are other countries doing? That's a question to be answered much later, but for now, the good thing is that currently as we speak in our country, we have about 6 distributors, and these distributors are not just speculative. They're not just sitting there hoping to get a big tender before they do their imports. They have stock, and so if I constantly get questions, where can I buy this product? And you send people, just look online on MikroTik's page, look for distributors, resellers, their contacts are out there, very easy to find. And like our other friends, that you, even getting the contacts is a problem. You have to maybe to visit Landmark Plaza right opposite Nairobi Hospital, and you go there, you find very unpleasant faces, people who don't even want to talk to you. They keep giving you numbers that don't go through. So welcome to the world of freedom. We have options and choices. I just mentioned in my presentation with the permission of these guys. Simplify Networks is one of the major distributors and that we have. We have got Optis, we have Network Options, we have got City Telecommunications, and a few others. Resellers are also out there, so don't get stuck. If you're looking for product within the East African region and even beyond, you're really welcome to explore these guys, because I mean, occasionally you get a need to replace a section of your network. Maybe things are down. There was a power outage, as we have very unstable power from our suppliers. So if something goes wrong and you need products on a fly, just go to the MikroTik distribution page and you have your products out there. The other problem, another challenge, let me not call it a problem, is network-wide visibility and monitoring, the ability to monitor our networks. And someone is going to tell me straight away, PRTG is there, and yeah, I know, but how much are you paying for that product? Because the solutions are out there, but some of them are very complex or just inaccessible by virtue of how much they are being charged. So this is a big problem. You find someone is running a big network and you ask them, so how do you do your polling? How do you manage, how do you monitor your network? And well, when it's down, it's down. We try and figure it out. You have to wait until something is down. But it shouldn't be so. If you ask why, either the products that are out there are very complex and require a lot of training, which in most cases we always have an excuse. We don't have the time. But you need to create time, because your network health and stability is of paramount importance for any provider. So monitoring and alerting systems go a long way in enhancing our ability, our response to issues, thereby by ensuring we have got reduced downtime and offer quality services to our clients. So the market, we've said, is saturated with all manner of products. Some of them are not even functioning well. The polling systems are not that good. And if you've tried your hands out, you know these products that I'm talking about. I wouldn't go into mentioning names out here for obvious reasons. But let's talk about the solutions that we have. The Dude, who is Dude? Dude is a very good product, vendor neutral. By vendor neutral, I really mean that it supports monitoring of any vendor device. So this is developed by MikroTik, but not specifically just for MikroTik products alone. You can use it to monitor any network IP node, as long as it supports any form of polling. So this product is phenomenal. If you haven't used it, you're missing out. I know a friend of mine who is in the crowd tells me that, well, this is my kind of primary that I use on the sidelines. So obviously, some companies have their choices for whatever reasons. They use these overpriced, non-functional monitoring tools. But trust me, if you start using the Dude, you'll be wondering, why did we pay $3,000 to this company anyway? Because the truth is that this product is amazing. It does auto discovery of your network. It does the network map layout. And if you're thinking the possibilities are endless, you can even do a configuration right from this. It's not just limited to monitoring, as opposed to these other third-party products that you're just limited to monitoring and polling and getting alerts. You can actually configure your products from right within the Dude. So the best part of this Dude is that it's absolutely free. You don't have to pay anything. What do you mean? Yeah, it's free, seriously. Just go online, figure out, read a little bit about it. If you need help with a DUD configuration, if you're not very familiar with it, we have DUD consultants in the house. You can even check out their names from MikroTik's website. They are all out there. You could make contact with them. Well, we are always happy to help when we have the capacity. And so make contact, and your life will become very easy in monitoring of your network. So my challenge number 5 comes into training and certification. This resource development, it's always a challenge. We kind of have people procrastinating. I'm going to take my certification next year. Why? A lot of factors go into this, because either the training costs are way too unbearable, it's expensive. Some people feel intimidated because you look at the reviews online, the questions are challenging, and you just have this fear about this training for a majority of vendors. Because if I were to ask a question, how many of you have either something like Juniper certifications? It could maybe be 1 out of this whole crowd or whatever number, but it's not that big. So we are trying to change that. Why is this important? Because some organizations, not some organizations, the standards bodies that be out there would require that we have technicians, engineers that can prove that they know what they know. It's always good to have a certificate to prove. Does a certificate prove that you're an expert? No. It just shows you have a good amount of information, and you can do things the right way when called upon to do. So how do we come in to solve this? I've said that some standard bodies would require a certificate of competency, and this might go a long way even in making sure that you can get tenders. I've seen tenders on the newspapers where they require a company to have very specific certifications. And this is common, because I wouldn't just want to give out a tender or a job to people who are trying their luck out. Try this, try that. No. If you have certified technicians who have gone through training, they would at least know what to do. And so how do we fix this? MikroTik has a certification training program is decentralized, so that means you don't need to travel. We have trainers spread all over the globe, and in the country we currently have trainers, and courses are being offered. So these courses are designed with plenty of lab activities. So you will not come to class and we just give you a book to read and have some exam dumps. We love dumps, especially if you're going to take that other certification. And once you pass it, you come show it around. I passed my CC, let me not finish the name. But once you pass it, do you really know how to do what is required of you? In our class sessions, we have a lot of hands-on. We have a few people here who have attended my training sessions, and you know what it entails. We go through troubles. Occasionally, people ask real-life questions. We have a network set up this way. What is the best practice? How best can we set up this network? And using what we teach in class, we provide solutions. And I'm encouraging as many of us to get trained, because this is your best way to even advance in your careers. Certified trainers all over. McCharles Consulting, the company I work for, is an authorized certified MikroTik training partner in the country and the region. So we welcome you to our training programs. So these are some photos. Someone I know can recognize themselves here during this training because they're sitting in the crowd. That's training for others. So this is where we hold our sessions. My challenge number 6, what exactly is entailed in this? Technical support. And those of you who know the acronym TAC, TSC, they know what this means, because your life depends on it, and your ability to make contact with them depends on how much money you're willing to part with. It shouldn't be so. I mean, technical assistance shouldn't be so expensive and inaccessible for people. Thankfully enough, salvation is here for those who believe in salvation. But hey, majority of vendors out there, they either lack the capacity or the manpower to be able to offer technical support for their products globally. So MikroTik are keen on supporting their products to ensure that operators reap the benefits of choosing to run with RouterOS. So there are several avenues where one may obtain technical support. And here they are. Nomad already spoke about this. You can contact support directly. You can go to their wiki page. You can go to forums, attend MAM sessions like this, or you can contact consultants in your country, because the beauty of talking to a consultant is that in most cases, we'll be speaking a language that is easily understandable to you. It's just that in some cases, we get people who speak languages that we don't speak, and we have to get translators and all that. Makes things complex. That's why we encourage as many of you who qualify to register as consultant to register. And I can see one of comrades in the house, a few of them who are registered consultants. You may want to talk to them. And so this is going to make your life very easy in this field. Because your ability to get support, no single one of us knows everything. So if you get technical assistance from this and from that, and life goes on. Because if we knew it all, then what would have been the purpose of even coming to such sessions? We'd have sat back, have a nice time, a day like today, and just be happy. But hey, we always need help. So if you're wondering, where do we get, how can we contact these consultants? Hey, just go to MikroTik /consultants/Kenya, Africa /Kenya, if you're looking for consultants registered in Kenya. Currently, there are 3 of us, and 4th and the 5th and the 6th, and the countless number are going to register very soon, because I know a number of them who qualify. How to qualify is clearly listed if you go to this page, and you will not be needing much help with that. And so I believe with this, we'd like to encourage every single one of us. So network operators across the continent are embracing the change, lowering the operational cost and overheads by taking advantage of MikroTik's broad range of products. And so why would you want to be left behind? We have these are companies that by direct request, I asked that I should mention their names here. So we have Mawingu Networks, they are represented in the House, Caster Networks from South Sudan, and Habari Node from Tanzania. All these guys, you find that they are running their networks, a big part of their network. So I would comfortably say 80–90% of their network is now set up using MikroTik. And man, if you wanted to find out their experience, you're free to contact them. If you need any help making contact, you can talk to them, and you'll realize that, hey, life is a lot easier when you're using MikroTik products. And yeah. So that brings to the end of my presentation. Our contacts are there. You can make contact with us if you need any consulting or training help. And thank you for listening to my presentation. Like I said, it is not technical, very precise, and I haven't gone beyond my 30 minutes allocation. I started at exactly that 55, and yes, 30 minutes. Thank you very much. Please. I totally agree with that. I wasn't discouraging any of us from taking a certification training from other vendors. I was just saying that you find it's intimidating, and I can comfortably tell you that you go around, ask in this room, how many of us have even CCNA, the starting point, the very starting point. You find that people are scared, I'm going to take CCNA, and it's just intimidating compared to how we run our classes. Our classes are kind of friendly. You come interact with people who have used this, because personally, I offer Cisco training. But you find that when someone comes, they're thinking you know everything, and they're either expecting an angel. But we tell them, no. When you come, my primary objective is to guide you, is point you in the right direction. I may not know it all, so we take out this cloud of a scarecrow kind of tactics that this thing is so difficult. No. We ask every single one of us to come. Yeah. Yeah. Well, nobody's discouraging them. We are just encouraging them to come more to the MikroTik side of things. Yeah. If there's no any other question, I think that will be all. Thank you very much.